I'm aware that I will trigger people when I say that Trump is not a friend of America, Europeans, Christianity, freedom, or whatever it is that he's been touted as being through the course of his bid for Republican nomination. I frankly don't give a damn, because I like to surround myself with people capable of critical thinking. There's no love lost here. Having said all that, I'll start with my prediction. Now that he has all but officially won the Republican nomination, he will now sabotage his own integrity in order to throw the race. This isn't much of an impressive prediction, given that he's already begun to do so. Trump has been framed by many of his supporters as a man outside of the system, being independent from the established forces that neutralize other candidates. Others say it differently, saying that he isn't beholden to the Jews. Both of those notions are eliminated by his recent hiring of Stephen Mnuchin, a financier who has at least temporarily left Goldman Sachs to fill the position, as well as having the Soros Foundation on his resume. Not only is Trump contradicting his public image by borrowing somewhere in the region of $1 billion from as yet unknown benefactors, he's chosen to look to a global bank and conspiratorial network that is destroying Ireland and countless other nations, a criminal enterprise with a laundry list of offences against humanity. Why would he go and do that? When I and others tried to warn Americans and others across the globe that Trump wasn't anti-establishment, but instead fulfilling a role, we were largely ignored. So my only regret is not being more vocal or making my prediction 5 months ago, but better late than never. Trump has historically been a Democrat, a supporter of the Clintons more precisely. He's contributed a lot to their foundation and campaigns. They rented a holiday home together in the Hamptons. Himself and Hillary share a tax-dodging address in Delaware. They never stopped working together. Trump isn't flip-flopping. He's following a script. Appeal to a very real distress in the United States and around the world, steal the Republican nomination with the resulting fame and support, then throw the race for Hillary so she can stroll casually into the White House. In this day of international finance, endless wars, and the pervasive Zionist infiltration of every Western government, it boggles my mind and worries me greatly that this altogether simple hoax has dominated the narrative of the English-speaking world. Trump has captured the minds of the alt-right and reactionary circles, convincing many of them that he could possibly help us break out of the global prison of usury and white genocide. Even in the face of his foreign policy, which has absolutely no points of deviation from that of every other candidate ever, the illusion seems to persist. So he threw Obama under the bus for Iraq and ISIS. So what? Exactly what does that accomplish other than the abdication of all the responsibility he proposes to assume? All he's done is excuse the latest episode in the Zionist plan to balkanize the Middle East. He, by his own words, will continue that plan. We know this because he identified Iran as the biggest threat in the region and, more importantly, a threat to the existence of Israel. Convenient, isn't it, to play the rebel card and still carry on the agenda? But why would Donald Trump do all this? Could it have something to do with his allegiance to something greater than the freedom and existence of the American people? Could it be something obscene that shadowy forces are holding above his head? Whatever the answer, he's doing his part to bring to fruition a plan that has been in the works for some time, the plan to insert Hillary Clinton into the White House. As a Clinton, this reptile is modern US royalty. After several years of serving the system as Bill's handler and long-suffering wife, serving in the White House to further disturb Africa and the East, she has earned the privilege of being the next queen. But there's a serious problem. There isn't, and has never been, a politician this dirty in terms of public perception. There are many dark figures in postmodern politics, but they've had better luck concealing their darkness. Hillary has been in the game so long that she wouldn't have even survived the Democratic primaries if it were a fair fight. Several skeletons had to be brought out of the closet in a controlled manner, in FBI terminology, as limited hangouts. The idea that if something dirty isn't revealed, somebody will reveal it, so better to reveal the matter yourself in a manner that doesn't rock the boat too much, either by creating or waiting for a public diversion, or staging your own exposé, but throwing in something about shape-shifting lizards to scare people off the matter entirely. As crazy as this might sound, the concept deserves investigation. To reject such a beautifully devious political tactic out of hand is to underestimate the imagination and evil humanity is capable of in an age of information warfare. Donald Trump served as a blank canvas for the entire world to project whatever they wanted upon him. The disenfranchised former middle class saw a potential savior, and the left saw a racist, misogynist, bigot, homophobe, transphobe, Revelations-grade antichrist, and the alt-right made tens of thousands of memes every day. Precious time and energy has been willingly flushed down the shitter because of a man who has said so much that he has ultimately said nothing other than, "Go Israel!" Mark my words, this man from here on out will sabotage the very image he's created around himself. Not in such a way that people will rise up and take charge of their own lives and governments out of disgust, but in a subtly corrosive way outside of the peripheries of our perception, just as you do with any dangerous animal whom you don't want to startle. There are several holes to be picked in this man's ideology and plan of action, the biggest one being that he doesn't have either of these things. And you will see an increasing number of critics point these out. We have plenty of time to get over or to get bored with Trump. 8 months is a very long time for our razor-thin attention span to remain engaged by this dancing monkey. As what I predict to be a summer of tumult kicks off, our attention may also be brought to other immediate things. Things such as the large-scale siphoning of our nation's wealth and the unlimited influx of non-Europeans to European countries. Present dangers, ongoing as we speak, but yet to come to our front doors. We'll be busy taking care of these things as they come up and ignore the swelling support for Hillary driven by the feminist cult that's been in the making for the past 3 years. Only 3 months ago, the media played the KKK card with Trump, asking him to condemn David Duke, former KKK member, senator, and now outspoken against the Jews and white genocide. Not many of us on either side of the spectrum believed him when he tried telling us that he didn't know who David Duke is, despite Duke endorsing him. But Trump doesn't need to know Duke or any of the other figures or groups that take him to be their savior. He will continue to be a blank canvas for the desperate and political fringe, and the people who attach themselves to him will be increasingly associated with him from here on out, losing the support of moderate America. I would advise my reactionary and nationalist friends not to go down with this ship. Trump is an empty investment, and when he collapses, we'll all be left with the caricature of nationalism, a neat stereotype for the mainstream media to plaster over any of our future endeavors. Let's renounce Trump now as the puppet of the system that he is before that system games us.